There are many doubts about who's the GOAT of chess, but in my opinion, there is no doubt about who's the master of the black pieces and who's the master of attack. The one that made differences and created a lot of new ideas in the history of the game. The one that played for attack and checkmating his opponent right from the beginning of the game, no matter if he had the white or the black pieces. Ladies and gentlemen, here we have the great Garry Kasparov, the master of the Sicilian Najdorf in Linares 2005, played a brilliant game against the great Michi Adams. This was the last tournament of the Garry Kasparov chess career. After this tournament, he decided to retire from professional chess. Let's go and have a look at this marvelous chess game. Michi Adams, one of the best chess players in the history of England and one of the best positional chess players in the history of the game, started this game with a king pawn, and Garry Kasparov replied with his love, the Sicilian defense. Knight to f3, d6, here we have the open Sicilian, and knight to f6, knight to c3, and the Najdorf variation of the Sicilian defense. In the previous videos we saw bishop e2 and g3, but in this game we will see the English attack, one of the most dangerous options against the Sicilian Najdorf. f3, queen d2 on long castle. White decide to attack, but you attack who? Michi Adams. You want to attack Garry Kasparov. And in this game, Garry plays pawn to e6, the Scheveningen type of Najdorf. Probably it came as a surprise to Michi Adams because Garry Kasparov in most of his games played e5. In some games he played e6, but in some games he played e5. So he had his options, and in this game against Michi he played pawn to e6, bishop to e2, and queen to c7. In this video we are going to see how black is going to attack white's queenside castle. Michi Adams plays queen d2. He basically wants to just go long castle, and we are going to have a sharp game. And b5, Garry is the one who starts the attack. You cannot attack Garry. He will start the attack against you. Now b4 is threatening and knight takes e4. So white plays a3 and now bishop to b7. Another attack. The e4 pawn is hanging. So f3, and here we have knight to c6. As I told you, with Najdorf our options are open. In some positions we can put the knight on d7, and in some positions we can put the knight on c6. So both options are available. And in this position Garry, with good reasons, put the knight on c6. And here we have long castle, and this is the reason why Garry played knight to c6. He wants to start a quick attack on the white king. A takes b4, knight takes b4. In this double-edged position, in this opposite castle kind of positions, in this position the black king is not yet in the king side, but it might be in the future. In this kind of positions that you and your opponent have different side of castles, the most important thing is time and who start the attack. You can sacrifice pawns, you can do whatever you want, but you should start the attack before your opponent. And here Michi says, you know what, I'm going to attack you also. And Garry says, okay, I will just develop my bishop to e7. It might be that rook c8 was better, but we just want to learn new ideas about Najdorf. Bishop e7, g5, and knight goes back to d7. Perhaps white thought that, okay, I'm attacking black with h4, but here Garry says, no, bro. You just put my knight on your queen side, and now this knight is transferred to c5, and here we have very great options on the queen side. White continues with king b1, the move that complete the queenside castle, king to b1, because in this line it might be dangerous to have the king, but to be honest, in this position I'm not sure if the king on b1 is safe. It's the top engine move, but you know what, there is b file, and here Garry is going to utilize this b file with his rook on b8, and this semi-open file is very dangerous. Now h5 came, and it says I'm going to open some files on the king side, and what are you going to do? And here this decision is very surprising to me. I mean, me as a Najdorf player, I'm afraid to play this move, but Garry Kasparov is the one that His chess level and understanding was beyond everybody. And here, Adam says, I'm going to attack your king side, and Garry just simply played short castle. What is this? I mean, with this move, you're going to the lion's mouth. I mean, I don't know if this term exists in your language, but we said you're going to the lion's mouth with this short side castle because g6 is coming, bruh. And what are you going to do about it? The files are open and you're going to be checkmated. But Garry calmly just put his bishop on f6. Remember this maneuver. After g6, you will put your bishop on f6 and you find another road for your bishop. This bishop is both defending and attacking along this diagonal. This is a very important diagonal. And here, Michi Adams says, yes, I'm going to checkmate Garry Kasparov. This time you're not getting away from it. But Garry just calmly plays bishop a8. Says, I'm the one who's in charge of this game. Bishop a8, I'm starting my attack. You should not defend in this kind of position. The purpose of short castle in this position was not probably to bring the king to safety, but was to involve the second rook into the game. And probably Garry wants it here, and he says, you're not going to checkmate me. After bishop f6, rook g1, bishop a8, I'm going to checkmate you. This is a very double-edged position. And here the computer suggests a move that it's very hard to play, you know. It's very hard, you know. Black is attacking on the queen side, and it says put your bishop on c4. Okay, probably to utilize this diagonal, but knight takes e4 exists. d5 exists. Look at knight takes e4. If you take it with knight, bishop takes e4, f takes e4, it's basically over. This game is over. b3, queen back to c7. This is just going to be deadly for white. So this is not possible. But engine suggests f takes e4, queen takes c4, and here h6. I mean, this is going to be very funny. One sample line can be h takes g6 or f takes g6. Both are possible. Both are possible. I like this idea actually. And after bishop h6 check, bishop takes f8, king takes f8. To be honest, I love black position in this. Look at this position. And if you don't like this kind of positions, then don't play Najdorf variation and stop the video and go watch other kind of YouTubers. I don't know, or watch other kind of videos of us. But this is Najdorf. This is Najdorf. You can also take it with the f pawn. You have options, and after hg7, rook fc8, and this is going to be this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. I mean, rook takes g6, knight takes c2, and everything is hanging. Everything is hanging. Queen takes c3 is coming, and engines says that in the end it will be equal. But I mean, this is going to be very fun. This kind of positions to play. This is what I love about Najdorf. So bishop c4 was the best, but Michi Adams says I'm going to remove your defender. This is how I learned chess. Remove the defender of your opponent king. But Garry says I'm not interested. You cannot remove it. And the point is, if f4 happens, then knight takes e4 exists, and after knight takes e4, we have bishop takes d4, and c2 is hanging with checkmate probably, and black will win the game. So you cannot play f4. And here, this is a very hard decision for Michi Adams, and he decided to, okay, probably bishop e3 was the best, but already in this position, black is in very good shape. But he took on h7. There are two kind of replies in this position, to play king h8 or to take it. In this position, we can take, because if our opponent plays h6 then g6, we will shut down everything. It's very important to be able to shut down everything. And Garry says, okay, can you checkmate me? If you can, just do it. But there is no way. If h6, g6, no way. And this bishop, look at this bishop plays an important role. There is no sacrifices and no nonsense in this position. And knight b3 by Michi Adams. And in this position, he cracks. He doesn't find the best move. And of course, in this position, the position is already lost. Probably bishop e3, okay, but something like queen b6. And look at this diagonal. I mean, look at this file. I mean, this is not a diagonal actually. But this is going to be over. Knight c6 is coming, and this is just over. But in this position, after here we played knight b3, and here you can stop the video and see if you can find the best move for Garry Kasparov. And please like the video if you like it. I'm going to create a very powerful playlist on Sicilian Najdorf that you can play it and use it in your own games. And here we have a very interesting sacrifice, knight takes c2. It's not a real sacrifice, knight takes c2, a very good move. opening the white's king side, which is now on the queen side. I don't know how to call it. And basically, if queen takes c2, just rook takes b3, you can just resign the game. So you cannot take with queen. So he takes on c5. Probably it's what he relied on, but knight a3 check. It's just going to be over. And after king a2, now queen takes c5 is coming, and this knight is hanging. You cannot take here because of bishop takes c3, and then rook f8 will always can join the party. For example, on rook c1, rook c8. It's possible. Yeah, it's possible, and white is going to win this game. So black is going to win this game. But here Michi Adams played a tricky move, knight a4. Okay, what are you going to do? Are you going to exchange queens with queen c2? Because after that I might be able to hold the ending. But here Garry Kasparov shows his magic. This is the moment that you can stop the video and see if you can find this brilliant chess move by Garry Kasparov. And here Garry sacrifices his queen with knight to c2. It needs a brilliant move, bro. Chess.com website. Why you don't use a brilliant move on this? You know, this is a very fantastic move. It just basically sacrificed the queen. If you take a rook takes b2, it's checkmate. Bishop holds the rook and knight covers these squares, and it's just checkmate. So you cannot take the queen. And here he just played king b1 and queen a3. And Michi Adams, after 26 moves, he resigned. If you know Michi Adams, it's a very hard thing to beat him with the black pieces. But to beat him like this in 26 moves, it's just phenomenal. It's just phenomenal. I mean, one of the most rock solid players in the game. If he plays with queen takes c2 and now rook f8, now that castle paid off, rook f8, and now a4 is hanging. For example, if queen d2, queen takes a4, rook takes b2 is coming. I mean, everything is coming at this position. So black is winning the game. So this is how Garry finished off the game after queen a3 resigned, after king takes c2, queen takes a4 also exists. So this is one of the game that made me love Najdorf. I mean, this is why we are playing for Najdorf. So if your opponent plays for queenside castle, then you're going to attack him like this. And if you want to see variations and lines, I will also cover them in later videos. If you support this video and give me a lot of energy, I will also show you some lines. This is just typical ideas of Sicilian Najdorf with some lines, but this is not pure theory. But in later videos I might also show you some theory about Sicilian Najdorf. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if this is the case, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and share it with your friends. Enjoy chess and life.